Hey y'all, this is Vulcan Wolverine. It is like midweek in the end of January, January 21st today, I think. I wanted to show y'all and read some of this news article, front page of the USA Today, 1/2015. So USA Today, get this article, show it to whoever doesn't believe you or whatever. USA Today, front page, 1/2015. I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see this. I'm looking at it, USA Today. Police can see through your walls. And it shows the device they use. And it shows the way that they look through your walls. So get this. Get a copy of USA Today on January 20th, 2015. Critics blast surveillance tool used secretly without a search warrant as unconstitutional. And this is an article stating that just regular police have something to see through your walls. They can see where you are, they can see if you're breathing, and they can position you in the house. And that's this little device right here. They show it in his hand, and it is called the handheld Range R model. Sends out radio waves from as far as 50 feet away. So it can see through concrete and brick. It can detect the slightest movements, including breathing. So I want to. My mom came in my house today, but she didn't see this. I want to show it to my parents because they, whatever, they think I'm crazy or don't believe me. My gang stalking's like, whoa, it's like military attacking me. It's like I feel like the Hulk in there, like, I see the chemtrails and stuff like all over. When I get home, it's like ground weapons attacking me. At work, they hit me remotely, which isn't as bad, but sometimes they can really hit my chest in a certain spot, and like I'll have a hard time breathing. It doesn't affect my work. Probably does affect, like, that could be a lot better, but it doesn't make me screw things up to where, I don't know. I mean, people at work are like, hey, you didn't remember this, or you made a mistake here. I don't think it causes that. I mean, I could do a lot better. I know that, if not for this, but I'm clever and I get through it, and it's not gonna, I'm gonna, struggle through it. It says a quote here, the idea that the government can send signals through your wall. The idea that the government can send signals through the wall of your house to figure out what's inside is problematic. That's Christopher Sokoian of the American Civil Liberties Union. That is problematic because we know it's probably, as targeted individuals, we know how far it's gone. And the mass media, I mean, this is USA Today, January 20th, 2015. So, I mean, they're putting it out and saying that regular police have this. I guess that's going through in the mass media. We know, like, that it goes deeper than that. I don't know if they'll get into that. I don't know if they're controlling information that comes out kind of in the mass media and saying, oh, okay, well, police use this and they do it and they need it. I don't know what they're going to do, and there are certain news stories about gang stalk victims, so people may put these two things together, and we must help them put these things together. We must help them make all of these things fit together, because if we don't, they'll just kill us in our homes. And they'll kill a lot more people, and they'll rape innocent women in their homes and microwave them, innocent women of all ages and innocent men of all ages. So, carrying on, I'm just going to go ahead and read the article, and then I do want to read it for anybody who can't get it, even people in other countries. Washington, this is by Brad Heath at USA Today. I might want to contact him and give him some more information, see if he wants to go deeper, that sounded a little bit gross. Okay, it says Washington, at least 50 U.S. law enforcement agencies have secretly equipped their officers with radar devices that allow them to effectively peer through the walls of houses to see whether anyone is inside. A practice raising new concerns about the extent of government surveillance. Those agencies, including the FBI and the U.S. Marshals Service, began deploying the radar systems more than 2 years ago, with little notice to the courts and no public disclosure. of when or how they would be used. The technology raises legal and privacy issues because the U.S. Supreme Court has said officers generally cannot use high-tech sensors to tell them about the inside of a person's house without first obtaining a search warrant. The radars work like finely tuned motion detectors, using radio waves to zero in on movements as slight as human breathing from a distance of more than 50 feet. They can detect whether anyone is inside of the house, where they are, and where they are moving. Current and former federal officials say the information is critical for keeping officers safe. Let's go to the article on the next page. If they need to storm buildings or rescue hostages. I agree with that. I think watchdog groups need to, be severely involved in this because of what's happening to us. But I agree with that. I think it could be a useful tool for policemen in hostage situations. I also think V2K could be a very useful tool for hostage situations to talk to the hostages without the hostage taker knowing. I think all of these things could be used as useful tools, even ELF, even EHF, like not on human beings. But privacy advocates and judges have expressed concerns about the circumstances in which law enforcement agencies may be using the radars, and that they have done so without public scrutiny. That's the problem. The idea that the government can send signals through the wall of your house to figure out what's inside is problematic, said Christopher Sogoian, I don't even know how to say that, the American Civil Liberties Union's principal technologist. So he's a good guy. It's Christopher Sogoian, Soghoian. He would be a good person to get in contact with. He's the American Civil Liberties Union's principal technologist. So all target individuals, we need to get his name, and we need to get his number, and we need to let him know what's going on. Agents' use of the radars was largely unknown until December, when a federal appeals court in Denver said officers had used one before they entered a house to arrest a man wanted for violating his parole. The judges warned that the government's warrantless use of such a powerful tool to search inside homes poses grave Fourth Amendment questions. Grave Fourth Amendment questions. And we have experienced those problems and those questions tremendously. I mean, these people are shooting, like at my work, they are shooting into my chest these frequencies they talk about them shooting through walls. Radio signals, microwave signals, these signals there needs to be watchdog groups to just, and I believe it could be useful to these agencies, but there has to be accountability because there are citizens murdering me in my house. Simple as that. By then, the technology was hardly new. U.S. contract records show the Marshal Service began buying radars in 2012 and has spent at least $180,000 on them. I think that's a little bit like maybe on these radars they spent that much money, but we know there's other technology involved that they're not saying about in this article. So, Justice spokesman Patrick Rodenbush said officials are reviewing the court's decision, and the Marshal Service routinely pursues and arrests violent offenders based on pre-established probable cause and arrest warrants for serious crimes. The device the Marshal Service and others are using, the Range R, looks like a sophisticated stud finder. Its display shows whether it has detected movement on the other side of the wall, and if so, how far away it is, but it does not produce a picture. The Range R's maker, L3 Communications, estimate it has sold about 200 devices to 50 law enforcement agencies at a cost of about $6,000 each. So 200 devices to 50 law enforcement agencies at a cost of about $6,000 each. Just 200 devices. I think this article is kind of skewing things a little bit, but it's a good article nonetheless. Other radar devices have far more advanced capabilities, including three-dimensional displays of where people are located inside a building, according to marketing materials from their manufacturers. One is capable of being mounted on a drone. One is capable of being mounted on a drone. And the Justice Department has funded research to develop systems that can map the interiors of buildings and locate people. The radars were first designed for use in Iraq and Afghanistan. They represent the latest example of battlefield technology finding its way home to civilian policing and bringing complex legal questions with it. Very complex legal questions, very complex human questions about bringing military equipment into the public sector and into private homes. Very, 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 very many questions. Supreme Court ruled in 2001 that the Constitution generally bars police from scanning the outside of a house with a thermal camera unless they have a warrant, and specifically noted that the rule would apply to radar-based systems if developed. In 2013, the court limited police's ability to have drug dogs sniff outside a home. The Fourth Amendment, wrote Justice Antonin Scalia, secures the right of a man to retreat into his home. Wait, this is great. The Fourth Amendment, our Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, this is great, wrote Justice Antonin Scalia, and he is a great person. I think he's on Fox News sometimes. Judge Antonin Scalia, I think he's the Italian judge, secures the right of a man to retreat into his own home and there be free from unreasonable government intrusion. Oh, I didn't say that right. Let me read it again. The Fourth Amendment, wrote Justice Antonin Scalia, secures the right of a man to retreat into his own home and there be free from unreasonable governmental intrusion. Oh, this word sounds so good. That's what a home is for. That's what a private home is for. And these people have just shattered that. They've shattered it. They've shattered privacy rights and Fourth Amendment rights. Still, the radars appear to have drawn little scrutiny from state or federal courts. The Federal Appeals Court's decision published last month was apparently the first by an appellate court to reference the technology or its implications. The case began when a fugitive hunting task force headed by the U.S. Marshal Service tracked Stephen Denson, wanted for violating his parole, to a house in Wichita. Before they forced the door open, Deputy U.S. Marshal Josh Moff testified he used a radar to detect someone was inside. Moff's report made no mention of the radar. It said only that officers developed reasonable suspicion that Denson was in the residence. Agents arrested Denson for the parole violation and charged him with illegally possessing 2 firearms they found inside. The agents had a warrant for Denson's arrest, but not a search warrant. Denson's lawyer sought to have the gun charge thrown out, in part because the search began with the warrantless use of the radar device. I mean, I don't know. That's confusing. I think if there's a dangerous fugitive, he has weapons, and police are going into a house, I really do think in that circumstance these things should be used. But months of torturing and killing civilians using these devices and stuff that's even more, more technologically advanced, there's no reason for that. There's a reason for this. It's a dangerous fugitive. They're trying to catch him. They don't want to go into a house and get shot. Completely understandable. And then they see where he is. They tell him to come out, or they end that skirmish. It's not, 10 years of torturing somebody when they sleep. I can go for that. 3 judges on the Federal 10th Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the search and Denson's conviction on other grounds. Still, the judges wrote, they had little doubt that the radar device deployed here will soon generate many questions for this court. So the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, which I guess you go to before you go to the Supreme Court, had little doubt that the radar device deployed here will soon generate many questions for this court. And other devices that these people are using, not in a lawful way, not to catch criminals, but just to torture Americans, those will be questions in court, and we're have to bring it there, or just get our information out, or do whatever, just a flood of information. But privacy advocates said they see more immediate questions, including how judges could be surprised by technology that has been in agents' hands for at least 2 years. The problem isn't that the police have this. The issue isn't the technology. The issue is always about how you use it and what the safeguards are. Said Henny Fakari, a lawyer for the Electronic Frontier Foundation. That's also a good name to know. Electronic Frontier Foundation. Henny Fakhouri, Hanni, that's his first name, and then Fakhouri, Fakhoury. He's a lawyer for the Electronic Frontier Foundation. So his name would be good, maybe to call him and ask him some questions. The Marshal Service has faced criticism for concealing other surveillance tools. Last year, the ACLU obtained an email from a Sarasota, Florida police sergeant asking officers from another department not to reveal they had received information from a cell phone monitoring tool known as the Stingray. In the past, and at the request of the U.S. Marshals, the investigative means utilized to locate the suspect have not been revealed, he wrote, suggesting that officers instead say they had received help from a confidential source. William Sorokas, a former supervisor of the Marshal Service's Domestic Investigations Arm, said deputies are not instructed to conceal the agency's high-tech tools, but they know not to advertise them. If you disclose a technology or a method or a source, you're telling the bad guys along with everyone else, he said. I guess we'd be everyone else. Yeah. We'd be everyone else. They'd be telling us and our families so we could get justice. But that, you want to get this article and show it to people. Like if they don't believe you, or just if you want to show maybe your psychiatrist or something. I don't know if I'm going to show my psychiatrist this. But police can see through your walls. And these are just police like, on the streets. These are just regular police. So they're not even talking about the stuff FBI has, CIA has, NSA has, and then what they're passing around, these directed energy weapons and all that. They're not even talking about that. They're just talking about one little device that can see somebody in a house, and then they're talking about that technology that we're dealing with kind of in general, and saying it's going to be questionable for the courts in the future, which is great. Also, just quickly, because that took me like 20 minutes to read that article, they're hitting me really hard, like at work in the chest. Last night, like the last 2 days, like I went to sleep the night before last, and I woke up, and like my brain, like my head felt like the worst it's ever felt. So I was sleeping. I only slept for like 4 hours, and they just trained that directed energy weapon right, I think, at the top of my head. So I don't know. He's got me surrounded in at least 3 houses. It was nice to go to my parents' house because they can only hit me with remote stuff. It's nice to go to work because they can only hit me with remote stuff, and it's easier to get through. But I did want to mention, and then the next night I made a video, and I think I put it out. I called it "Shot Through the Heart." That was the worst heart hit I've gotten from remote stuff. I'm pretty sure it was remote. And I just had trouble breathing. I had to sit down, and it hurt so bad. I don't know what my heart looks like right now. I think that there are parts of my body that look like they're cooked, like a filet mignon. I don't know. I don't know what that kind of microwave power does, because you put a piece of meat into a microwave, and it cooks it. It cooks it where it browns and stuff like that, like a filet mignon. So I don't know. And I don't know, science guys. I'm kind of sciencey, I guess, but I'm more just, kind of everywhere with this thing. I'm emotional about it. I'm about getting information out and, kind of protesting in the right ways, trying to say how I'm doing it, informational, but I make a lot of mistakes. I don't make a lot of mistakes when I'm putting information out. I don't say a lot of things that are wrong. But when I'm trying to fight this, I make a lot of mistakes. So I am kind of a sciencey guy, but if there are people who know a lot about the human body and are being targeted, I'd like to know if they microwave something like an organ, a heart, your muscles, like, and you do heal, you block it, and can it heal? Like, if it burns it and cooks it, can it heal inside your body? Does the body do that? Like, how does that work? Or does it kind of just scar up? Like, I really want to know. I might go to a doctor, but I'd have a hard time discussing it with them. Like, I had a conversation with Mom tonight, and she's a great lady, and we were talking about me getting out of this house. But I thought of something. I'm gonna walk outside with my dog. Come here, Pepper. I'm gonna walk out back with my dog. I like making videos just out in my yard, like talking about it, just in case somebody who's not like involved will just hear me talking about it. I mean, I'm not worried about looking crazy because it's so hardcore now, and I've just got to do what I've got to do. This guy, you know, he says stuff like he's got to kill me now, and you know, he's really trying to beef it up, and they're definitely police caravanning me everywhere. I see about 30 to 50 police every day. I see one light cars, like, and my friend was making fun of me yesterday about it, but I see like the number of one light cars I see makes it that it is going on. It's like I see over 50 one light cars a day, and they're all nice. Most of them are nice black trucks and black SUVs and white SUVs and white trucks that have nothing else wrong with them. And I see about 40 to 50 of those a day, like when I'm driving around at work. But I did want to say, like, I was talking to my mom, and she doesn't understand this stuff. She's like, why don't you just get away from them? Just get out of that house and get away from them. And, you know, she doesn't really understand, I guess, like the remote aspect of it. And I guess a lot of people have a hard time. That's the hardest thing for people to understand, other than, you know, the remote neural monitoring. But the deal is, like, I talked to her tonight, and is it dark out here? Can y'all see me? Can you see my face kind of? I talked to her tonight, and it's like, she's like, well, yeah, you can get out of the house. And I'm like, I'm telling her, what I'm telling her is that I have plates along this wall. I don't know if y'all can see my house, but along this wall, right next to, I guess, my perpetrator, or whatever you want to call him, against his house, I have plates that make a field. And so that's an important point that I want to tell y'all, and I know I've said it a million times, but I want to say it a million more so you understand this. When I put plates up against that wall, whatever he's doing remotely, it dulls it down. So it's not like he's punching up, it's not like he has a station where he punches up a satellite and it sends a certain strength of frequency. He has to upload something. He has to transfer something in the ELF, the EHF. It has to come from his ground source. He can make it remote, but it comes from his ground source. So if you guys think that you know who's doing it to you remotely, like, and they're next to you, they're next door, they're hitting you on the ground, and then they're hitting you when you go out, and you think you know that, you would want to get a tabletop defender. And they are. It's like $500, but you would want to. You'd want to get a tabletop defender to test that out, to put it against your wall. You'd want to, if you didn't know, you had like if you say you had two houses beside you, and you had no idea, you knew somebody was hitting you. Usually, if you're being hit on the ground level, you know which direction it's coming from. But if you have questions about it, I would really. Like, I'd really say that because it's so important, because they can really hurt you with this stuff. It's important to get a tabletop defender, because those things are 50 times the power of a personal defender. It creates a 100-foot field, and these people use very, very powerful, you know, military directed energy, electromagnetic energy on the electromagnetic spectrum. I would really recommend that if you have money and you have an extra, you know, I know $500 is a lot nowadays. Like, I know, like, we have to pay our bills and we really can't afford it, and a lot of us can't, you know, we can't hold jobs. I feel like, I mean, they hit me in my job, and it doesn't, like, totally screw me up, but they put weight on me at my job. They expect me to, like, carry some weight. And it's not just, I mean, I have to really focus and really get things done, and it does kind of hurt that a little bit. You know, I'm getting up there and I'm flexing to where it won't matter, and I'll get stuff done and I won't make mistakes. But I mean, they give me a run for my money sometimes, and I might lose my job. I don't know. My manager's very picky, and it's her business. She's the boss lady, and so I might lose my job, and it would be because of them. It would be because, if I was up and energetic, I mean, I am. I can get past it, and I can block stuff. But it like when you're sleeping and you get tortured in your sleep, you wake up and you feel like a crispy critter, like your muscles. This morning my muscles were just so sore, and it felt like they had been microwaved. It was good because my chest didn't feel so sore, so I think I blocked it enough to where they weren't drilling through my chest. They were kind of hitting all over my body, my back, my shoulders, my head. But what I was trying to explain to my mom, and I want y'all to really understand this, is the remote stuff that they do comes from a locale on the ground. And if you can get stuff to dull that, you can get equipment to send to put a field 100 feet around, and it can dull whatever they're remotely sending. And I didn't know that I didn't figure it out. It just happened. I just put those things up against the wall so he wouldn't shoot me through the wall, and then he started doing remote, and I noticed how it dulled down the remote stuff. So I didn't figure it out. It just happened. It happened, and then I knew. So that's a very important thing, because I think maybe some people think that, and he does, he has a remote station that he works with, but he has to transfer that frequency. It has to be transferred into whatever he has, and then either to cell phone tower or, dare I say it, satellite. But the deal is, I mean, if you think the people are by you who are hitting you remotely, and you're going outside of your house, and they're hitting you remotely, and it's just the people next door to you, and they're gaslighting you, it would be it was worth it to me, $500, and it was just to stop him doing the ground, weapons, the Raytheon square front microwave weapons into my house. But I figured that out, because when they started doing the remote stuff, I figured out that those things could really buffer it. Now we're playing games, because I've got 6 on that wall. He's got it really powerful, but now he's playing games, and I think he's either moving it around. I think he's trying to make me think they have 2, that he has 2 of them around here, but I think he's just kind of trying to play tricks. It's all about illusion, and they sit around all day. I think they make money off of it. I really think that it is. I really think that it's corporations. It's the military-industrial complex, and it's corporations, and they're making weapons for our military, and they're testing it on citizens. I think that's the main thing. But I think they funnel that money through certain agencies, and a lot of agencies are getting big money to do this stuff, and a lot of individuals are getting big money to do this stuff, and they are also kind of practicing their twisted beliefs, because I think this guy has very twisted beliefs that are alien to mine, that he does not reveal ever when he's doing this. He acts like he just has to do it, that I'm the dangerous, crazy guy, and that's what he tells pretty much everybody that's normal around him. But that's all right. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. I just want to get as much information out as I can. They do really hurt me a lot. They hit I was fixing up my van tonight, and they were hitting me in the back, the lower back, and I was bending over, and they would hit me in the lower back, and then I'd get out of my van and I'd straighten up, and that would go away. The pain would go away. So they're able to hide this stuff. They're able to hide where they shoot you, because people would oh, well, that's just your back. That's just your back going out because you're bent over. So they really try and hide stuff and how they're hurting you. The main goal, because this guy right next to me, he was torturing me for 3 months without me even knowing it, because I moved from another area, and I was well, I'm just hearing high-pitched sounds because that went on, and I have tinnitus from that. And so he wanted to continue to torture me without me even knowing it. because when these people started helping him on this side, I heard them have a conversation in his backyard with the young man. The young man was like, "I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. He knows now." And he's like, "That's all right, man. That's all right. That's okay. We'll get him out of here, or whatever." They just say it like it's like they're, I don't know, cutting up cattle, or I don't know, like they're ordering at dinner at a restaurant. They say the most bizarre, like crazy murder stuff, just like it's nothing. But there are regular human beings around here too involved in the situation that they really do care. It's hurting their lives too. So I do want to get out of here. But my point is, and I got off of it, is that I was talking to my mom. And if you talk to your parents, it gets frustrating. You're like, okay, well, they're hurting me in this house. It was good to go to y'all's house. Like, it was very nice to go to their house because the remote stuff is not as bad. I just hope they don't convince anybody around my parents' house to do this kind of stuff. But my mom's not getting it. She's like, well, if you just move and you get an Airstream trailer, you can put your plates around you in there. But my point is that I've got him up against that wall where he has his remote equipment. Now, if I move somewhere else, I could put it in my Airstream trailer and it would protect me in there, but I get out of that trailer and he has, all that remote stuff without any kind of buffer. So I'm starting to question moving out of the house, even though it's torture being here. I hate it. Like, people in the neighborhood have been, recruited into the gang stalking. A lot of people just go for it. They're told something, I guess told lies about me, and he's kind of a semi-authority. And if then there are police involved that tell them it's okay, people are pretty easy to do that. They kind of have fun doing it. Like, people have fun, I guess, judging somebody or pointing them out and kind of sacrificing them. I guess our society is kind of sick like that. Because it is. When he is torturing me at night, it is a ritual sacrifice. Because I'm not moving, and he is burning my organs and my tissue. So it is akin. It is akin to, something like a ritual sacrifice. That's what I feel. That's my opinion. I think he may have another opinion about it. I'm sure on everything in the world we would see it very differently. I'm sure just like we could look at a table and it would look completely different from him to me, because his philosophies on life are so much different than mine. I just know by his actions. Like, I don't know what he believes. But all right, I just wanted to tell you all that. I want to tell you that because I want everybody to know that for a fact. I know that for a fact that these people, even if they have a remote station, they are not punching up numbers for a certain strength from a satellite. They have to have stuff on the ground that they're transferring out somewhere. So if they are around you, you have a chance to buffer that. And I've said it on my previous videos, but they're earlier videos, and I know I may not have mentioned it lately. And that's a very, very important fact, because that gives us a lot of power. If they're right around you, it gives you a lot of power. And there are devices that you can get to send out a field to buffer that stuff. It sends out scalar waves. It basically makes a 100-foot little bubble, with scalar waves. And sometimes their signal will be through the field. Send signals out, scalar waves, Solfeggio waves, and stuff like that. Sometimes it'll be, it's oscillating. Like, this stuff oscillates. These frequencies definitely oscillate. They get stronger, weaker. Definitely take Epsom salt baths. Get the toxins out. If you feel like they're like in any way putting any kind of toxins in your yard or your house, or if you feel like you just see chemtrails all the time, please get some Epsom salt. Take Epsom salt baths. Lay in it for like 15 minutes at least. Soak your head in it, because that dulls it down a lot. Because they put toxins in that work alongside of this stuff, of this directed energy weapons. it's serious stuff. Like, it's really serious stuff. That article that I showed y'all earlier makes me very hopeful. Even if even if the people with money, or even if the mass media is controlled, like, kind of, that, and they're putting information out, even if they're trying to control the information flow, they're trying to get in front of it, it'll still get out, and people will still open their minds, and then we can hit them. We can hit them with a wave of information, that they can't control, and it'll match up. So we got to grab their information, because these guys that do this, they do speak a little bit of truth with their lies. My neighbor, I don't know him to ever say anything true, but like people who do this stuff, like I don't know, I don't want to name anybody. They'll put truth out, they'll put truth out, but they'll put the truth they want you to hear, and then they'll cover it all up with lies and crap. So what we got to do is grab their little bit of truth, use that, and then throw our truth in, and just like gasoline truth to the truth fire. Alright, guys, that's kind of all I want to say. I know it's dark out here. I kind of want to just come outside, let people listen to me. It's gotten so bad. Like, I'm going to my job tomorrow, and I know I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to wake up feeling fatigued and feeling like my muscles are sore, and I'm going to get in the bathtub, and he's going to shoot me in the back. But what I've also done, I'll do it on the next video, because I don't want to really do it right now and go through my house. Just put layers of corrugated steel on the inside, outside of your house if they're around you. Now, if they're not around you and they are hitting you, remotely from afar, and you're not around them, you're going to have to use, like, stuff around you. You're not going to be able to just put stuff on the side of your house, and I guess that's obvious. But I would also, if you think that's happening, I would also recommend a tabletop defender and put it, like, right in front of you where you sleep, because it will create, like, right in front of you, put, like, sleep with your head by it. And that really helped me a lot until I kind of figured out putting it closer to them buffered it more for me. It helped a little bit to put it away from them, and it created a field around me. But it seems like if you stop it at the source, because they have something that emits it, and they have to transfer it. So if you stop it at that source, it seems like you can douse it out easier with this equipment. And they're going to come up with better equipment to protect ourselves. I'm going to get a frequency reader, and I told y'all that. I'm working real late and getting home late, and I'm real tired. So, but this weekend I have off, but I got to go work for my mom this weekend. Oh, it's hard. It's hard because that's one of the hardest things, because they're always working on it. He's always working on it. It's the only thing he does. It's the only thing he does all night, all day. It is 24/7, no-touch torture. That is the program of gang stalking, to tear a human being down, psychologically, physically, familial, financially. I don't know why exactly. I know there's probably money involved, and that's when things get really ugly. And I have a lot of theories, as y'all know. I'm going to try to just stay with the facts. I may do some theory videos, but on this video I just wanted to give out some facts, especially because I'm presenting a news article. USA Today, January 20th, 2015. It is great. It is something that you can show people, because we're saying these people are surveilling us, like, while we're taking craps, and we're inside of our houses, and this stuff exists. And what they're putting out in the mass media is just a little bit. It's like a little 5%. Here you go. This is something that's going on in society. That's about 5% of it. Of what's really going on. So, especially young women whose families don't believe that people are watching them in their home. Show them that article. Get USA Today, January 20th, 2015. Look it up in the library, or order it from USA Today, or get it online. I'm sure it's online. Let's post it everywhere. This stuff is just hurting a lot of people. We can't let it go on. We can't let it go on. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter what I do, or it doesn't matter what we both believe. Just America can't go this way. It doesn't matter if money's involved. It doesn't matter who's getting the money, who's making the weapons. Americans are dying. So we fight, and this is how I fight. And I hope it's how y'all fight. I hope it's how y'all fight. They had me yelling today. I yell in my work van. They get me. They get to me. They really do. Because they're just straight up, just lie and say they have to kill people. It's they're not like, it's not like, oh, we gotta kill him. We're gonna kill him and drink his blood. It's just put him away. Put this guy away. He's crazy. And that's at work. That's when I'm at work, dealing with customers. And, the guy will say, we have to do this. And that's what person number 3, the lady that's next door, we have to do this. We got to finish it. It's over. They'll say it's over when they really hurt me. They'll be like, it's over. Blah, blah. And, I don't, he's got, there's a good person in there, too. They say stuff, too. It's a human situation, it's humans with weapons, and they're doing stuff with them, and it's affecting my life negatively. It's affecting a lot of lives negatively. They say other stuff, some of the other guys, sometimes they'll get brave, and it's not the organizer, but they'll be like, fuck you, man, you're fucking crazy, but that's that's another. That's not usually on the remote stuff. A little bit. I think maybe sometimes they may go over to his house and kind of yell stuff into it. But mostly it's just him saying, man, the scariest thing, and he just said it like it was nothing. He just said, I can't let this guy live. And it wasn't it was just this, he didn't care. He's I just can't, he couldn't, he can't. And, I guess mine's that big. Police are involved. He's ex-military, and I'm not sure, maybe connected to other organizations that aren't really, for America completely. They say they are, but they're really working on something else. But he's got a lot of my One Light guys, my stalkers, they're ex-Marines and stuff like that. So, it's unbelievable to me because I love the military. They fought for my freedom. My grandpa was in the Navy. My dad went to Vietnam. So it's I love the military. I love the United States. I love police when they're protecting us. If police are involved in gang stalking and microwaving people, I don't like those police. It's just like any agency. I like good agents of the USA who protect us. They are great, but this gang stalk and stuff and microwaving innocent people, I don't like those people who do it. And so I'm not speaking out against any organization. I'm not speaking out against any organization, not even secret organizations that want to remain secret. There are good people in secret organizations. There are really bad people in those organizations. I'm not speaking out against any organization. I'm speaking out against people who murder people while they sleep. That's who I'm speaking out against. So I want to be clear about that. And I'm not speaking out against the United States. I think there are a lot of problems if people are being killed in their sleep, and there are people that are willing to do it either for money or beliefs. There's a huge problem. Because that means that me and this guy completely think differently, and we're both Americans. So that's kind of that's what happens in Middle Eastern countries. These tribes start forming. They believe so differently, and that is not a good thing. We should all believe that nobody should be killed without a trial, without proof, without them doing anything. We should all really believe that. Not only not to protect bad people, but to protect innocent people. you should believe that no one should be surveilled. I mean, I can see police, if they're chasing somebody and they're going to arrest them and this guy has weapons, look into his house for the arrest, for a one-time thing. But this year-long, looking at watching somebody use the bathroom and watching everything they do, and just so they have power over somebody, and also hurting them at the same time. I don't understand what that's accomplishing. I do understand that there is money involved, and it's probably big money, and it's probably big money for a lot of agencies that we have in the U.S., but that's corruption. So I don't know. It's a tough one, but we can push it back with information and find peaceful terms to end it and to make Americans aware, so you won't have as many one-light gang stalkers or people thinking they're being trained by the CIA to help out. Well, they'll really know about it if we put information out, and you won't have so many people out on the street gang stalking or doing street theater, or doing any of that. So, I mean, we can definitely change it. We can turn the tides of this. We can turn the tide of this war. We definitely can with information. We can't do it by violence. It's not going to work because they'll just cover up anything that, and I'm going to go back to Myron Mays, which I hate doing because that gives me such conflicted feelings about all this. He thought let me tell you what he thought would happen. He thought he would go in and shoot up a library, and then he thought that the media would grab on to all the papers he sent out about being a targeted individual and his phone calls and everything about what he was doing at that time, but they didn't. The media had a little blurb about his shooting, which is weird because they always grab on to shootings and air that over and over again. They covered up anything else. They just said that they thought he was mentally ill, and he thought that he was targeted by the government. That's how they're going to put it. If you go out and you do something violent and you die, they're going to say this person was mentally ill and they thought they were being targeted by the government. They're going to word it in a way that it washes away everything we fought for. So use information and be smart, and try not to talk to them. Just try not to talk to the V2K, because they actually, they're such liars that they actually pretend that they're not doing something, and then they're like in a fight that's not a fight. So it's really weird. So you want to try and get as far away from them mentally and physically as you can. You want to get to a place where you're not around them, because if you it's like a tar baby. If you put your hand in it, it's gonna grab you and pull you in, because that's what kind of a psychopath does. It grabs anything, your arms, your legs, and it pulls you in with tentacles of tar. That's what this guy has done to me. So even if I say things like like true things, y'all doing this does support people who are there. I mean, they're people just like them with these kind of weapons, and they have young girls going to college trapped in houses, watching them naked, shooting them with microwaves and raping them, putting poison in their house, knocking them out, and actually raping them physically in their house, with also doing psychotronic stuff to them while they're asleep, basically invading these girls, just invading every part of these innocent victims. The deal with me is I'm a 33-year-old hairy dude. I'm attractive though. But it's not such a big deal with me, and I'll speak out about it, and I'll speak to people, but some people, especially women, they feel ashamed when that happens to them, when they're violated like that, and they have a hard time reaching out. And I just see how many views, women who are targeted, their testimonies have so many views, and I know that there are people out there, and they're going to work, and they're going home, and they're just being hit with microwaves, and they're crying in their beds, and they just don't know what to do, and they can't find help. And so, like, that's like a main thing in my head, in my heart too, when I do these videos. And I mean, I put myself on the line. This guy, he doesn't want me putting out videos. He doesn't want that. Like, he's like, he wants to shut me up. Like, this is the worst thing I can do. It's weird. If I was like screaming and getting naked and like pooping on the wall or something like that, he'd be like laughing and they'd be having fun and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But because like I actually am kind of intelligent, and I'm thinking it through and I'm doing the right thing, it's very dangerous to him. They want us to be violent. They want us to be banging on walls. They want us to be yelling outside. They want us to be yelling at people who we think are stalking us. They want us like that. That's what they want. And like I say on other videos, if they want something, because I know some of the things that they want, and because they use it, and they get that, they're like, yeah, we got him, like if I yell, they're like, we got him, we got that. And I don't know if they do record some of the surveillance and show it to police, and there's this like underground, like, I don't want to even say extra legal, thing that they're working with cops. Oh my God, I don't even want to go into that. But all I'm saying is, to act violent is what they want. They want that. They don't want you to be at peace. They don't want you to be helping people. They don't want you to have a job. They don't want you to be productive. They don't want you to help your family. They don't want you to be financially stable. They don't want good things for you. When you have good things and you build up and you don't talk to them and you don't do violent things and you just put out information because you have to, because this is a lot of people's lives on the line who didn't do anything. Innocent people who are trying to figure this out and trying to reach out to people they love, who, sometimes people that, like, they joke around with me. I feel like I'm getting made fun of, and it's a very serious thing. But I understand it. I understand where they're coming from. It's almost instinct, to joke about something like this and not take it seriously. Because if everybody knew about this, they'd have to do something about it. And our lives are very hard. Now the economy's hard. People are just trying to work. And that's a big reason I think some of these gang stalkers get involved in this. They want a piece of it. They want to get close to it so they can maybe make some money. And there are just some people who, they're prone to that. They're prone to it, and they don't care if somebody tells them somebody did something wrong. They're like, okay, I'll help you, whatever. I can get stuff and put this guy away, whatever, that's cool. And they don't really think much of it. And that's from the V2K, from some of these people. And what happens is, they may be pretty good people when they go out in society, but when somebody is completely anonymous, and they have even a capacity to be cruel, it makes it like a million times worse. And there's studies about that. They do studies on that. There's even a show from Darren Brown where you need to watch Darren Brown, Anonymous. It'll say Anonymous. And he shows, like, when people are anonymous and they make a decision about somebody's life, the majority of the people will make a negative decision about that life. Like if they can choose for a cute girl to come talk to some guy, or some lady to accuse him of, hitting on him, so her husband comes out and gets into a fight with them, like in a kind of made up scenario, they choose the bad thing for him. When it's anonymous, the percentage of people who want bad stuff to happen to him goes up. So it's like it's actually shown in our nature, which is horrible. Some people don't go along with that. There's like a small percent, or 30%, 25% who never do that. They want good things for people all the time. I mean, I feel like I'm a person like that. I hope I'm a person like that. I don't think I would ever gang stalk. It's never crossed my mind to hurt somebody, and I never have. But I don't know everybody. Like somebody was saying that today. It was an older guy, and he was talking about one of the people who work with me who's not there anymore, who was being rude to him, and he was like, I just backed off. I didn't do anything. He's being sarcastic. And then we were both kind of just like, well, it takes all kinds to make a world. And I guess it does, I didn't know on this level what people could do like this, and I didn't really want to know. Like I've said a lot, like I'd rather kind of be in the dark about this, living a regular life and peaceful. But the thing is that you can't sit idly by when people are experiencing injustice, because sooner or later it's going to come to you, no matter what. Like if it goes on, it's going to go to everybody, and we've learned that in our history. And with this stuff, they can do it even easier to people. So it's not gonna stop with a couple of thousand Americans. Maybe I guess like 200,000 around the world, people, maybe more than that. I don't know the statistics, but it's not gonna stop with those numbers. They'll increase. They'll keep increasing, and probably, my gang stalking experience, it's probably actually promoted, other targeted individuals being picked in my city, and being targeted and hurt. So, yay, gang stalking. I feel guilty for that, even though I didn't do any of this. But probably my gang stalking, because people, they want a piece of it, and they're getting equipment in the city, and there probably were already targeted individuals in my city, but it's probably made it grow. This guy, the guy that lives by me now, has made, like, it started small and was very contained for a long time. But this guy, I guess he had some connections, or I guess that the gang stalking system it works on its own. It has, people in every, kind of city, and people that will work it, and it kind of like, all he has to do is kind of start the ball rolling, work on me in my house, and tell everybody that I've done bad stuff, and then it kind of spreads out, But yeah, see, just in my situation, I've seen it mushroom out so bad. So I know that all of us being, like, a lot of Americans being targeted, and a lot of people around the world being targeted, it's going to mushroom out, like, big time in all those situations, and it'll create a different kind of culture where people are cynical and cruel, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Like, we need to be caring and compassionate, and we need to go that way. We need to at least go that way if we're not that way, and we're going the wrong way. Like, we're going the opposite, the wrong way. Alright, guys, I'm in an hour. I meant to just do that news article. I'll make more videos, so I will see you on the next one. Live long and prosper, and God bless you. Just stay strong, defend yourself, try different things. We're getting there. We really are getting there. And I don't just say that. Get that article and show people we're getting there, because even the mass media, USA Today, is putting out stuff about it, and so we're getting there. So let's splash our information out there too. All right, guys, I love you guys. Good night.